So last year, these guys played in the final, Steelpact,
I'm already
and I
halfway
don't think
down.
they're not a group this year, which made me really sad because last year I saw like some of the best post-scriptum gameplay I've ever seen. Um, this is not a competitive setting, so I honestly expect them to have fun, and hopefully public players will have fun as well. But I still expect a pretty competitive and effective tactics to this game, as there's still this clan, there's still this group of people, and all these players are great and very experienced.
Exactly. And something I like seeing is it was Germans and Italians together last year, which kind of, World War II.
Yeah, it's great. It's still packed. I thought it was genius, and not only
Yeah.
that, Yazoo, but they dominated their opponents.
Well, I think it was historical. I think it was the German guys helping the Italians quite a lot. I think it was quite
Oh yeah.
historical. Yeah. That's what I've been
Oh yeah,
told
yeah,
by
of course.
IR9 anyway.
Of course. I will say then I have gone on to play with players of each clan, players of the Brigata Italian and Italian Brigata, and then they're really good players individually too, man. Like I see them play, and I'm like, wow, man, they really know what they're doing. So they obviously, I think they'll have a plan coming in today, but I think the first priority is to have fun for everybody.
Yeah, especially after the EU tournament is now over. Unfortunately, they didn't qualify. They finished last of their group, so
Oh, wow.
they are knocked out at the moment. So I guess they can just have some fun tonight and just relax, let the hair down, maybe practice a few things.
Yeah, there you go. No pressure, no points to be gained, no points to be lost, no standings that we have to watch for. Just a game that you get together with your friends, a good old game of postscriptum, and have fun. And I hope this is what we see today.
Exactly. Well, I'm watching the IR9 guys coming out of the American base at the moment. There's a nice There's actually a convoy going on. There's two staghounds in front of I forgot what the big Humvee car is of the Allies. They're moving in like a convoy roleplay formation. It's actually kind of cool.
Very nice. I see a smaller version of that also on the German side. I would see the 50 mil Puma scout car is at the bringing up the rear of the logistics and an MSP. So we're also moving down the main road through Oosterbeek at the moment. I don't know where they're located at the moment. They seem to have committed one small squad to Boschfeld. They're gonna back cap that. These people, we gotta remember, yes, we're playing random, advanced, and secure, so they don't know where the next cap is gonna appear. They're gonna position themselves around where they think it's gonna happen, but these players know how to play this random, advanced, and secure mode. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they bring. As we can see, they already captured Boschfeld, and now they're already heading to Lichtenbeek.
Yeah. You don't actually see this game mode in public service very much. So for the people who will be watching later on YouTube and stuff, so none of the players in this game knows where the capture zones are going to be. They're going to spawn at random across the map. You don't see it on public servers very much, so that's why you haven't seen the defenders jump straight onto the first cap. They're probably looking to secure other positions around the map because no one knows where the second objectives are going to be.
Absolutely. And last time we played a final European ladder match, it was actually a random advanced and secure match. So one of the strategies that the Steel Pact used is like you're talking about. They didn't know where the capstones were going to be, but they did know points of interest in the map. So they took over various buildings and various landscapes that once the caps were revealed, they already had a control of the map, and the other team weren't able to do much. I believe it was the First Armor Legion, the other finalist.
Yeah, that is true. I wasn't there for the last season, but I heard those mixed feelings about the RAAS mode. And I know these two teams here, these two clans, really are invested in this mode. They think it's one of the better modes. I've got to say, I don't see this mode very much on public servers, but the times I have played it, I have joined this. I have enjoyed this mode because of just the random elements of it. The meta is completely shifted off its head. So it is nice playing this mode, and I would like to see
I
more public servers do it.
I absolutely agree, and I think that might be something that more experienced players of Postscriptum that know small mechanics and know how some maps work and so some mechanics work enjoy, because the regular offensive is very linear, right? One team is defending, one team is attacking. All you're doing is running into their guns until you finally kill enough of them to be able to get in the cap. It's pretty linear. It's not, I wouldn't say boring, but it's pretty, it's pretty straightforward. Well, random advances secure not only has the element of we don't know where the next cap's going to be, so we kind of have to take a hold of important positions in the map, but also there's always that back and forth of if I don't defend this point good enough, the enemy could take it and they could steamroll us, or we could do the same to them if we play our cards right now. I love it personally. I love it. I think it's a great dynamic.
Yeah, I completely agree. And something you see more in this game mode as well is because of the random element of it, you also get to see more use of assets on a map. So AT guns, even the basic transfer vehicles become a lot more valuable because you often have to get to new positions quicker because you can't prepare. You don't know what's going to be the next hot point to protect. So it makes the game come more alive, in my opinion.
It's more like a real battle, right? It's more like a real battle with tides of wars and going back and forth. And at some point, if something really breaks in the team and they catch you not defending the point you're supposed to be defending, you can literally lose the game. You can be having a toe-to-toe for 1 hour, and if you do one wrong decision, you can lose the game within 10 minutes in RAAS. And some people in public servers don't like that, but I personally do. We see artillery coming in onto the cap point right now. Not sure who's taking everybody out. It's not discriminating. Only took one guy out from the Brigata.
Yeah, so as we can see, as you mentioned, the allies have already taken the first 2 caps just like that within seconds, because I believe there's actually no cooldown timer on the caps, is there? So if they take one objective, they can immediately be on the next one. There's no 5-minute cooldown.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as we've seen, we've already seen the first 2 caps go straight towards the allied attackers. Planes coming in now.
So
whiskey.
What is interesting here is that there's Italian and German players on both teams. So I expect both teams to know exactly what the other faction's plan is. So I want to see how they counter this. But so far, I feel like the Germans are having the upper hand. Will you agree?
It's hard to say because of this game mode and everything being so split at the moment. I open the map and I can see vehicles all over the map, literally driving in all directions. So it's so hard to get a grasp of the nature of it at the moment.
Now, how many cap zones do the allies have on your map?
They have 2. They've taken Grandjorg, and I can't see the name of the other one. It's obscured.
Okay, so right now for me, the Germans have 2 secure, and they're taking the 3rd one at Schweizerho. Oh, more artillery coming in. Woo! This right here is a hot spot for artillery, a hot spot for attack, and they know it. Only 3 shells. I'm noticing they're not using a lot of shells, and this is something that some players might not know, but the less shells you use, the smaller of a cooldown. And if you use the smallest amount of shells as platoon commander, the cooldown's not going to be very high. So
yeah, that's something you see the clans do, especially. They usually just go for precise, short rounds of artillery instead of long bursts.
Right. I feel like that's when when you keep hearing 3 or 4 artillery shells come in very often, that's when you know there's an experienced platoon commander. As when you use literally like 10 shells, you won't be able to use another artillery strike for 7 minutes or so.
Precisely. If I start to slur my words, you'll have to let me know and I'll slow down on the whiskey.
No worries.
I feel like I'm already starting to slur a little bit. I'll only drink this one. I'm down in it like water at the moment. I'm trying to find the tank, so I can see 1 Puma out for the Germans. Can you see any more tanks at the map? It's hard for me to zoom in and see everything going on the map at the moment. Everything is just all over the place.
All I see right now is the 50mm Puma shooting at the British-Italian players, if you would. They definitely know where they are located. I mean, I saw some BF-109s running some straight fronts, and now the 50mm is throwing some HE there. Other than that, I don't see any more tank action. I think we see less armor action in random advance and secure than we see in regular defensive modes.
So the Staghounds, can I just mention these Staghounds from the British? They're working perfectly together. They're just like little Hot Wheels cars flying around the map, just doing damage. They've just taken out half a squad from the Germans and also an MSP. They're just flying around the map, literally like go-karts. It's amazing.
That is a beautiful strategy because this is the way they're supposed to be used. You know, just hit fast, quick and run, hit and run tactics. I love it.
Exactly. And the nature of this game mode, you kind of want to be fast and quick. You don't really want to go for the heavy tanks that are slow to move because you're going to have to be going from position to position so quickly.
Absolutely agree. And I think that kind of reinforces the point that I was making earlier that armored gameplay is not seen as much in Random Advanced and Secure. And it's precisely because of what you just said. If the cap point is going to be changing really fast and you are on a Churchill, on a King Tiger, it's going to take you like 5 minutes to get to the next point. And by the time you get there, maybe you already have to move somewhere else. So you end up driving most of the time and not sitting on a position, defending on attacking as you would in offensive mode. So the stack counts are perfect for this game mode right now.
Yeah, and I suspect that's the same reason why we see a Puma on the field as well. So far the Germans... I'm gonna guess, they've taken 3 now objectives, and they're moving on to the last one, I believe.
So the Germans indeed have 3 at the moment.
Yeah.
No, they have 4 at the moment, Yazoo. Holy crap. The Germans right now have 4 cap points. The next point that they have to attack, it's north of Speicherho. I know our German audience is gonna kill me.
Grisjord. Is that it? Is the next one they're on to? I believe.
Right, Grisjord is the one that the Brits are attacking now, and the next one that the Germans are going to want to attack. At this point, I believe they have the majority of cap points, so I'm curious to see if they were going to want to defend here, or they're going to go ahead and move north and attack the next point.
Yeah, so this game mode works basically like any capture the zone in any FPS, Battlefield, Call of Duty. The more cap zones you hold, and if you hold the majority, the enemy teams start to bleed tickets. Is it 1 ticket every second or something like that?
You know, I'm not sure of the rate, but you can be sure that if you are holding the majority of the cap points, you will be bleeding the enemy team. I think it might be like it could be a ticket a second or something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure of the rate, but it goes really fast.
Yeah, so the Allies are going to have to do something very quickly because they are on the last objective, so they're going to have to pull something out before they bleed tickets.
Yeah, Zoo, I'm seeing the stack count sneak right behind the Puma. Oh! Completely snuck in undetected and took out the Puma. What a beautiful work by the stack counts.
I love
this. My goodness. He held the shot until the other stack count was right behind him. And then he hit him once, and the second stack count hit him from the back, and that was all she wrote.
That's what I love about these clans. I just love watching the clans, the organization, the communication. It's just on a completely different level.
It is. It is something that we mentioned before. It's something that you don't get to see in public gameplay, and that's why it is great to see in a competitive set, you know?
Precisely.
Let me sip my coffee real quick. This is getting too intense.
It's fine. I'm watching this guy sneak up behind the stack hound. Is he going to do something here? I was looking at the driver of that stack hound, and I thought his name was Mobius Dickus.
Yeah.
Whiskey is hitting me a bit hard, I think.
I think I have seen a Mobius Dickus, though. Oh, barely misses the Panzer IV. Oh! The stack hound did not miss that 80 infantry. Fermax, rest in peace, you brave soul.
Yep, he's going home in a close casket, that can be sure. So speaking for infantry right now, there's just so much going on all over the place. Unlike the other game mode where we can predict, we know the power positions to hold beforehand. In this game mode, it literally just is action across the entire map with
the whole map. The whole map, absolutely. Don't you love this? I love the fact that they're using the whole map instead of, like you said, usually when we know where the defend point is. Okay, we're staying on hill 121, and, you know, we're not going to move much from there. But in this case, you can see the battle, and it's everywhere.
Exactly. And it does make for a change as well. A good change as well. It's nice to see different game modes getting some love in the game. I
agree. And I said this in the final, but I think if there's a setting to play this game mode, it's between clans. It's in this competitive game mode. So yeah, love to see it. I love the fact that the clans appreciate it. And I've seen a few members of the German team come up to the north objective that we were talking about. Not a lot of people defending it. Johnny Deppy amongst one of them.
I'm just zooming in on this MG over here in my position. I've got such a beautiful angle of it. The MG just covering across the road with a rifleman next to him. Hiding in the ferns. It's a beautiful shot. I could be a war photographer.
This game is nothing if not cinematic, man.
I see the Stackhounds in the north. I'm just trying to see where the action's going.
Now, we see some British held up in the church tower, but they absolutely they're onto them, and they're not going to let anybody peek onto them. The defenders' numbers dwindling at the church, so they might try a push here pretty soon.
Yeah, likewise on the cap before that, though, Scout was home. The one before that, the Allies are actually attacking that, and they actually have the majority in the buildings at the moment, so there could be a pushback of the Germans here.
True. Let's not discard the British forces just yet. They do have a force defending, and they do have a force attacking. So
that's a grenade going out. Gary's going to go down. Ooh, Gary, lucky.
See skirmishes all across the maps. Anywhere you see infantry fighting to gain terrain.
Yeah, and it's not just long range as well. It's close. It's a mix of everything. It's close, long range, and it's great to see. I think there's been some small game changes as well since the last clan match we watched. I think now the commander is only worth 2 tickets now. So now commanders can actually get into the action without fearing of losing 5 tickets per death. And the British, I believe their radio guy now also uses the M1 carbine instead of a Sten gun.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's a strange change.
Hold on. Do you say the British faction uses the M1 American carbine?
I believe so, yeah, their radio guy. I could be wrong, but from public servers, I've seen the British radio guy using the American carbine.
And as in every match, I just saw an Italian player get spooked by his own teammate, and he team killed him. But then he stuck a syringe in him. All is well with the world.
Look, that's just.
But it happens, everybody. It happens.
When it comes to the Italians, they've got a habit of swapping sides. Come on, it's in their history at this point.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm trying to find a British radio.
Anyways, that would be really interesting change that they would give an American weapon to a British soldier.
Yeah,
I have to see that. I know.
I
do know about the platoon commander. I did see that. I saw the values the other day. I was taking a look at it, and it is 2 tickets. I'm not sure when that change happened, but I'm glad it happened. It
happened just halfway through last week. I'm actually on a British radio man now, and yeah, he's using the American carbine. I'm not sure when that change happened, but I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Is that based? I don't know how I feel about that either. Is that based off of history? It's just, you know, I gotta be honest with you. I do not like pure balance changes. I'm more of a, you know, if the Germans had bolt-action rifles, they had bolt-action rifles. If the Germans had better weapons at the time, that's an advantage that the Germans are gonna have to prepare against, you know? I'm not much to change weapons and values just for balance. I like to keep it a little more historically accurate as possible. And I don't think giving an M1 a carbine to a British radio man is that.
Yeah, I'm not big on the history side myself, but I definitely agree. When it comes to balance in a game like this, I want it to be historical. I'm not too worried about the balance of, you know, if one gun is more overpowered than the other gun, because at the end of the day, you're playing a simulated war game.
Right. No, I agree. You know, it's at the end of the day, it's a game. But this is weird. I do see the radio man with the M1 carbine. What brought this change? Like, I don't know. Here's the thing. Maybe you can do a change with a little bit of like a historical background to it, you know. But if you're gonna give, you know, I don't know what's. I hope that what I'm saying. I hope there's a little bit of a historical precedent for this. I don't hope they don't give Americans an STG tomorrow just because, you know.
I think that'd be a different game if that happened. The Americans started using the MP40 in the CG.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Are we playing Battlefield 5 at the moment? Am I a German that can pick up a Lee Enfield now?
I mean, if you run out of ammo, that would be cool, but yeah, no, it's not the game for it. I actually hear a heavy tank now. It's a P4, I believe, now the German attackers have brought out, so they're actually fielding a medium tank at this point.
Yeah, that Panzer IV is actually pretty fast, pretty mobile. So it's not like such a slow tank that you won't be able to answer where you're needed. And right now they're gonna take a look at the church and probably shell it, I'm assuming.
That'll be my guess too. And with the recent changes to tanks, we're waiting for that tank overhauls. The P3 is kind of... It's more difficult for the Stackhouse to kill, but it's still possible with these players who know what they're doing. So he's a little bit more stronger against them, but he can definitely still be taken out.
Panzer III is probably my least favorite tank in the game. Yazoo, what's yours?
Oh, the Wolverine. Definitely.
Wolverine? That's funny.
Open top.
I haven't tried it too much, but I like, yeah, open top, not a lot of ammo and no MG.
Slow turret, slow to move. It's just a death trap. I stand by what I say. The American tanks are the worst tanks in the game.
Well, it's more of it really is a self-propelled gun, I believe. As in the sense that it's supposed to stay in one place, you know, like an AT cannon, and just be mobile enough to move somewhere else.
Yeah, unfortunately, that doesn't really work in
either.
Postscriptum. But no, I think I like all the German tanks. Even the I was playing on a Chapter 2 map last night, and they reintroduced the early Stug to the Chapter 2 maps, and I've got to say it was fun to use.
Oh, the Stugs are good, man. And do you remember Yak Pancers from when we casted that armor gameplay? They're actually really strong, man.
Oh, definitely, definitely. I mean, this early Stug we was using on a Chapter 2 map, which they've only just re-added it back. We went 57-0 in it last night. And for a tank that can't move its turret, I think its top speed is 15 kilometers an hour. That's not too bad.
No, it's all about using the advantages, but it does have a strong turret, you know?
That is true, that is true.
The thing I don't like about Panzer III is, you know, I used to drive a lot, I remember, when I first started playing this game. And the Panzer III has possibly, and now it's changed, but at the time it had the worst maneuverability, and it's not like it's got a great one now. And it still to this day has the worst vision of any tank. As a driver, you cannot see where you're going at all. The only thing you can see is a little square in front of you. You got nothing else.
Yeah, it's one of the harder tanks to agree. I
feel like it's easily killable.
I kind of have a soft spot for the worst tanks, though. The P3s, the P2s, the Stewards. I kind of have a underdog feeling for them. I like using them just for that sense of challenge.
Right. I get it. It's playing to your strength, you know? It's a way of playing.
Well, going back to the game, though, it looks like the Allies have pushed back the Germans kind of in a way to their objective. There's kind of like a front line forming almost.
Still, the ticket difference is leaning 100 tickets for the Germans. And the caps still haven't changed for a while. Grisjord is under light siege from the Germans, but not under any real threat. And Schweizerhohe, it's still being heavily defended by the Germans.
Yeah, that is true. The British really need to do something here. These Staghounds have started to roll back towards point, though. Look at them. They look so beautiful together, so majestic, just rolling forward gradually through cornfields, side by side. I know they're going to unleash hell.
They have been working together the whole time. It's amazing. Every time I look at them, they're together, and they're doing naughty things.
Yep. It looks like the British forces are almost surrounding the cap at the moment as well. That P3 has moved to, or P4, sorry, has moved towards the cap.
Indeed, I see tank markers next to this Panzer IV, so they do know that they got a tank here. I wonder if they're going to send any AT infantry this way that I don't see yet. Will they send the 2 Stackhounds against the Panzer IV? Will they envelop it and be able to take it out? That would be interesting to see.
It'll be very difficult for them to do with the recent changes, but they can definitely do it, these Stackhounds. But it does look like one Stackhound is on fire at the moment, so they might have to retreat first and get repaired. That Stackhound is on fire, ladies and gentlemen.
See a sapper placing a Hawkins mine behind the... Oh, trying to.
One Stackhound has almost been completely taken out. A radio guy from the Germans killed one of the crewmen, and now the Stackhound is just left with the driver alive, and it's been abandoned. The other Stackhound has drove away, left it to its fate.
That'll be a sad day when one Stackhound dies, and the other Stackhound will be sad for it. Oh, I see what... Oh, and there he goes.
There he goes. So the Stackhound couple have been broken apart. That is incredibly sad. I'm sad.
Sad. It's sad. It's like, you know, it's like an old couple, and now just one's alive.
Yeah.
Mobius Dick left us, and they were a beautiful couple, and they did great work. And I'm hoping they spawn another Stackhound and repeat this, because I want to see more of this coordination.
Definitely, definitely. Or they might even decide to bring out something heavy, because they are 100 tickets behind now. They're going to have to bring out something big to not only deal with that P4 quickly, but also push the infantry back. So maybe a Churchill, supported by the Stackhound, could be the answer.
Bring the Firefly, I say.
No, you want the big boy, the Churchill, the battleship, the land ship, the British made.
I mean, honestly, here the Churchill would be better, because I don't think they are going to be engaging any heavy tanks as the Panther or the King Tiger. Not that they know that, but I do think the Churchill would be a better choice now. Really heavy armor, really thick hull, and it was meant as an infantry support tank in the first place, which is what they need here, mostly.
That is true, that's true. They are making a good push on the camp. They've almost pushed into the final line of buildings. But the German defenders are holding out quite well. It's a good back and forth at the moment.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the second Stackhound has been taken out at the moment, and they are nothing but a legend right now.
I don't want to hear that. Don't tell me news like that. That is sad.
Spitfire strafe runs coming in on Space. What can I call it? Space. However, the British forces have been driven back a little bit. Like, I only see German forces holding these buildings at the moment. Most of the British forces around the area, the close ones, have been taken out. We do see more enveloping troopers, but it's going to take them a while to get here. I think the first wave has been taken out so far.
Yeah, precisely. The British have been pushed all the way back almost, and now it's time for the Germans to start doing a counter push, and that's what they are doing. They're starting to push out from their capture and push into the west and also to the north a little bit. Yeah,
they pushed them all the way to the edge of their forest, and they're gonna have to fight to gain ground again. This Panzer IV is awfully close to the woods and to enemy infantry. As a tank, I have a rule of thumb to never get too close to the woods, never get too close to the trees.
Yeah, that is true, that is true. Although, he can be a little bit secure in knowing that he is against the British, and the British PIA is kind of useless at the moment, from what I've been finding out, so...
If it wasn't before, it is now. They seem to have added some form of RNG level to the AT, where it's like you can aim to the same place twice and it will shoot at different directions. It's a little odd, not one of my favorite changes. It's one of those changes that came along with giving 2 warheads rather than 4, which that one actually I didn't mind. I thought 4 warheads for a Panzerfaust was way too strong.
Yeah.
But the RNG factor of it I didn't like too much.
Yeah. We just had, that was British artillery coming down then, and it was the British currently have an Italian commander, and he called down artillery onto his German soldiers, so keeping up the Italian tradition there.
Oh, and I just noticed our platoon commander for the German team is Sir Twist, long time Regiment 9 player and good friend of the stream. Shout out to him, Sir Twist.
Yeah, I know Sir Twist.
You know Sir Twist, he's cool, right?
Yeah, he's cool, he's cool. I think he was the one who invited me to join this cast tonight.
Nice.
So I've got to say, with how things are going, the Germans have actually pushed onto the church at some point. They've started to infiltrate the church, and they're almost half a ticket lead ahead of the British, which makes sense, considering they've held the majority of the zones for almost the entirety of the game length so far.
Yeah, they have been holding the majority of the cap zones, and they do seem to be the ones making progress on the next cap zone. The British have been attacking. Props to them on that, but they haven't been able to get nowhere. They haven't been able to eliminate the defending forces for the Germans. So it seems like this next cap point might go to the Germans, and then it'll be all bet over, as you stated. The tickets are almost doubled.
Yeah, and I think the Germans are slowly starting to outnumber the British defenders on the church at this point. I think it's very even. It's a little bit back and forth at the moment, but they're definitely scaring the defenders of the church, taking some attention from their push on the next cap. So good job by the German attackers there.
Absolutely. However, I will say there's a lot of faith in these defenders in the church, because they've only kept like one squad or half a squad. They're here the whole time, and they have been able to hold back all the attacks. So, you know, props on them. Even if they lose it, they've been able to hold it for a long time.
I just want to say there's something beautiful happening right now. We lost the 2 Staghounds, but we've been rejoined by 2 Stewards.
Oh, the incarnation, the evolution. Gandalf the Grey became Gandalf the White, and so the 2 Staghounds have become 2 Stewards. That is beautiful to see. I love that. Love it.
Yeah, I don't know how effective they're going to be against a P4, but it's a beautiful sight.
You'd be surprised. These little stewards pack a little more punch than they'd seem.
I mean,
they are fast.
I'm looking at them at the moment, and the driver seems to be too big to fit inside. He's found a new hatch.
Look, these are British tanks who do not allow American tankers. But no, they're actually American tanks.
No, they're British, aren't they?
Are they? I don't know. I'm honestly not sure.
I thought they were British.
But you are right. I actually see one crew member's head coming out because he's too big for it. No matter. They're going to make it work.
Yep. The British are still pushing on the cap as well. They're doing like, they get close to the cap, then they get pushed back out. There's another push coming in at the moment. They've secured a few of the buildings, but I don't think they have the numbers on the cap to really take over the buildings, especially with that P4 lingering around.
And I think these 2 stewards are going to be game changers here. They are coming in and they are putting their foot down on the church, and I think that's going to be it for the German attack on the church, at least for a while. So I'm going to go back and focus on the British attack. As you say, they get close. They seem to use the western, the south, and the eastern forest to get close. They coordinate. They all push at the same time, but they don't seem to get close enough to take out the German defenders.
Correct. And that's what we're seeing again. They got in on objective 03. I don't know if you see that on the map where squad 2 just died. They get in, but they just get pushed out again. They're going to need their tanks, I feel, to come in, help support the infantry, and push that P4 back.
No, I agree, and that's the gamble that they're going to have to take here. Will they move the stewards from the church, risking losing that point, to be able to capture this point? Another thing to remember here, Yasu, that I like about this game mode is that when you cap a point, you get tickets back. And that's something that doesn't happen in offensive mode. So that gives you a chance to maybe like say the British were to cap 3 points all of a sudden, they would gain tickets back, and then they'd be back in the game, and they'd be able to maybe even win the game. And I think that's an exciting possibility. Will it happen? I don't know, but there it is. It's there.
Exactly. And it can mean these games can actually go on longer than their normal game mode. So I'm kind of hoping the British do take the second gap because I want to see this game go on for a little bit longer.
Oh, I'll absolutely. I believe we get we're lucky enough to get 2 random advanced and security games today. So even if this one's fast, even if this one
That's
gets
a war
wrapped up
crime,
pretty fast,
Marcus.
I think we'll get another one. But I would love to see the British capture this point just for the sake of battle.
That's what you get. No,
I believe it's about 20, 25 tickets or so that you get back per cap point that you get. So like I said, I like that mechanic. That brings a very interesting fact to the table.
Yep, yeah, I can see the stewards rolling in now, but there is AT and stuff nearby. But the numbers for the German defenders on the cap is going down. Oh no, there goes the first steward.
No. It makes me sad to just see one of these vehicles out. They both have to be together.
Yeah, that's the issue with the stewards. The stewards I find are actually the weakest tanks in the game at the moment. All it takes is one rocket. Doesn't matter where it hit. Usually just takes them out immediately.
Yeah, I can't say anything against that. You're probably right. It's true. Stewart is a very small tank, very light tank, and it doesn't take too much, especially from a Panzerfaust or a Panzerschreck, which is usually the type of warhead that they're against. The bazooka, on the other hand, against stuff like the King Tiger and stuff like that, it's very much weaker.
Yep. The second steward almost went down as well. A Pioneer managed to sneak up on him, but he did just manage to survive. His infantry nearby helping support him as well.
So if you're seeing this, I see a few British troops sneaking in through the south side of the point, taken out now by mortars, but they are trying to sneak in there little by little. They're gaining inches, and every inch counts. And you know that, Yasu. Every centimeter counts.
What are you trying to say? Of course I know that, man. But yeah, every time they come in, though, they just can't get rid of these last few German trenches, German infantry who are entrenched in the last few buildings in the center. They need some kind of rocket or artillery to come down right on the center of the point to clear out the rallies and the spawn points.
Man, if they brought, I actually see a mortar sign, a mortar symbol on the map around the zone where we're talking about, where they could use artillery or mortars to take out all these defenders. And I wonder if they're bringing something in that position. That would be great. Like I said, artillery, about 4 or 5 rounds in the middle of that house would help them greatly.
100%. It'll be interesting to see what tank they come out with now. So I'm going to expect it's going to be a heavy because they should be out of light tanks now. I think 4 is the maximum they get in a tank deck. So I expect maybe a Churchill or a Sherman to come out soon as well. Going back to point. Lannister moving in.
The British, they're getting closer from the east. They're getting closer from the south. The distractions that the pushes from the east are causing maybe it's helping a few of the players approach the south side, but I still see the Germans held up in the main house where they've been the whole time, in the middle.
Yeah, and actually a few of the British attackers are actually running right past the team rallies. It'll be interesting if they spot them. And there he has Quagmire, Giggity, have just spotted the two rallies of the German defenders. So the British should be able to push on this now with no spawns nearby for the defenders.
So this is going to be huge for the British. The Germans are about to lose a lot of momentum, a lot of position, and with these rallies mean that we're basically able to spawn right on the point. And no longer giggity.
Exactly. We might see a race for the cap though, because at the same time the German defenders have pushed on the church. There's no defenders left on the church, so we might see a race for the cap at this point.
Now, here's another situation that we can find in random advanced and secure, and it's a double neutral. Now we can, if the Germans neutralize the church at the same time that the British are neutralizing their back point, then we're gonna find ourselves in a position where neither team can fully capture the point, and they're gonna have to break it at either point, either the church or this one right here. So that'll be interesting as well. However, I think there's still more defenders in Schweizerho. I don't know. I could be wrong. There's a lot of British at the moment.
What I can see is there's only 3, now maybe 4 British defenders in the church, and they're getting pushed quite heavily by the German attackers. But there are tanks moving in as well, so I'm going to quickly shoot on over to the tanks.
And this is what we're talking about. There's action going on in 2 places at the moment, and it's very important action, and it is gonna decide the next side of the battle. Schweizerhof just went neutral, so it could go for the British, and it means that if the British get this, the Germans have to run back to get this point, and if the British are smart enough to attack the next point, they could put the Germans in an entanglement, and that would be great. I think that would be so interesting.
Exactly. The second steward just went down as well to a pioneer, so only a Firefly is up now for the British.
I honestly think Schweizerhof is all but captured by the British forces. I don't see the Germans are trying to get back in, getting driven back, and I think we are going to see this point going back to the Brits. They are losing by more than 100.
Oh, there goes the church as well. Both neutralized now.
Oh, we are in that position that I was talking about. We are in a double neutral where it's too bad, but the British are not going to be able to cap this point until they kick all the Germans back. And I don't think that's going to happen, Yazoo. The Germans have taken a hold of this church. There is not a British near. Oh, but here comes the artillery.
Even with the artillery, I don't think it's going to be enough, because if you look on the map, there is no British forces nearby to capitalize on it.
None whatsoever.
And at this point, even though they haven't held the majority of the caps, even with tank losses, the British must know they're far behind on tickets.
Absolutely. And I love this, though. I love the fact that they just basically, the title battle, switch positions where now the British are in the back point and all of the Germans are in the church, basically. We have completely changed positions for battle, and something's going to have to give here. Somebody's going to have to move so the double neutral stops. And I'm very curious to see what the next move is.
I'd fully expect the Firefly just to start bombarding the church and have a squad slowly move in on it. Use your tanks. You have got the main base as a near spawn and resupply. Just hit the church as hard as you can and try to get a squad to clear it out.
Absolutely. I think the British here, they have to go for a gamble. I think at this point, the game is basically lost for them. So I think their best option would be to put a bet on maybe the tank and one squad to be able to kill enough out of the church to be able to, you know, stop making it that it's neutralized, and then go ahead and commit fully to capture the next points. I think that would be their best bet at the moment.
Yeah, and they do need to do something quickly, because the longer they wait, they're losing more and more men on the second capture point as well, while the Germans are just pushing in more and more as well. So,
and that's tickets. That's tickets counting.
Exactly. Tickets are going down. Only 76 left for the British at this point. Who's in the tank?
What a battle. What a battle that just seemed to absolutely break and get decided at the very end.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what happened so the Germans managed to secure the majority of the map, because at the beginning, I think it was just so chaotic. The Germans just managed to pull out the chaos and just hold on to the caps quicker than the British did. I think that's all it is down, because both teams seem to be very even when it comes to infantry.
Well, I think it was sort of like they both thought the same thing. They said, you know what, fully commit. The Germans said fully commit to attacking the church, and the British said fully commit to attack the back point of the Germans. And they both did it at the exact same time, and that's how we made it to the double neutral that we find ourselves in the moment. Neither team has completely captured the point that they've been fighting for the whole time. And I don't know if we're gonna actually see one point going to either way. There's still heavy fighting in both. The British have made it to the church with quite a big force, and the defensive German force in the church is dwindling. However, they are getting stopped outside of the church, like right at the forest. They're not even close yet. But here comes your favorite tank, Yazoo.
The Hellcat?
Maybe to save the day. That's right.
The Hellcat is probably the only American tank I actually like in the game. I'm actually watching the British defense of the second cap. They are, again, they've basically all gathered now into the last buildings. They've been surrounded. They're slowly being picked off one by one. There's just a last Alamo holdout for them on the second cap.
I now see the British entering the church finally, but as you said, the British have been slaughtered defending this point, and here comes artillery to finish them.
Yeah, and there goes the last British defenders on the cap. Only Hocho Low is alive, but he's going to be quickly stormed down by some German attackers, I feel. He's holding it. A Bren gun.
Hocho holding up against the Germans attackers. He said, "This is my house," and he is waiting for reinforcements that may never come.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get relieved anytime soon, so good luck, Hochlo. You're a brave man.
Indeed. They know where he's at. They're going to go after him, and I'm going to go back to the church. Seems to be where most of the fighting is happening at the moment. The British have been able to get this point back. Not in time. They weren't able to get it in time for the British forces and the German back point to capture that as well. So I think this is going to be the game. I think the British had one possibility, but the Germans did well in counterattacking the church. And I think what we're going to see at the moment is just the ticket bleed that's to come. And yeah.
Yeah, I think the Germans are actually going to capture the church as well before this match is over. So the Germans will do a full sweep of the board. Close game, though. It's so chaotic. It could have really swung any way. It's just the nature of this game mode just being pure chaos.
Yeah, I literally think that, you know, in here, like about 1 or 2 minutes would have made the difference. If the British would have been able to do that dominating attack a little earlier, if they would have been able to get that back point for the Germans, that would have been huge. That could have changed the whole tide of the battle right there. Alas, the Germans also attack. We got the double neutral, and we are where we are at the moment.
Yeah, the British have lost all their caps now. The church neutralized. I can see they're trying to pull in some soldiers quickly to stop the capping, but I don't think they're going to get there in time. I'm pretty certain this is going to be a German victory in a few seconds or a few minutes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think we're just got to finish up the battle, clean up their remains. About 28 tickets remaining for the British. They are going to fight bravely until the end. Got to admire that. But they have to know that they are at a disadvantage. I still don't know how I feel about the British holding an M1 carbine. I'm gonna have to look that up. Maybe there is a precedent for them using it, and then I won't mind it as much.
I have no idea historical-wise. I didn't even see any updates about it officially from the Discord. I just jumped into a public server last night, noticed the change, and I just felt it was a little bit strange.
Very strange.
Because I think previously, didn't they have a Sten gun?
Yeah, they had a Sten gun. That's why they had. The M1 carbine actually was also held by the medics on the American faction.
Yeah,
back in
so
the day.
I can't even think of the reasoning behind it for a balance-wise, because the British are outnumbered by the Germans when it comes to automatic guns, so even them having the Sten gun kind of balance out the German and British infantry a little bit as well.
I think people don't like the Sten gun too much. I think they say that in game it underperforms compared to the real life gun. I'm not sure about the Sten gun. I've never shot it. I don't know much about it, but this is some stuff that I've heard. So maybe it was an attempt to balance the British by giving it what some people say it's a better gun. As a lot of people like the M1A carbine, as it has a low recoil, it has a fast fire rate. It doesn't have the best sights, but yeah. I still think it's a very odd change.
Yeah. And you know what I say to those people? I say get good. in a game where every gun can one-shot, there's no excuse. I say just get
like
good.
I said, I agree. You just have to play to your strength. This is a game where if you're a German, you have to play different than if you're an American with a Thompson, you know? I think there's different styles of gameplay that you have to follow depending on the faction, and that's what makes the game beautiful too, you know? Like when you play with a Stug, it's not the same as when you play with a Firefly. When you play with a Marksman, it's not the same as when you play with an MG42. You gotta play to each kid's strengths and weaknesses.
I think you've hit on something that's unspoken there. When it comes to tanks, you never hear tank players complain about certain tanks being overpowered or underpowered, at least not as often as you hear infantry complaining about certain infantry aspects being overpowered or underpowered.
I think it's because a lot of tankers understand. They're like, okay, I'm in a Panzer III, and they were in a Churchill. It makes sense that, you know, my armor is not as good as a Churchill's. I think they understand that there's disadvantages and advantages depending on the tank that you're driving, and it also helps that, you know, it's. Hold on, I want to say.
No, I completely agree. No. I like this map. I think it's not played very much on public servers. I think isn't this like the biggest map in the game?
It could be, yeah, I believe that.
I think it generally is the biggest map in the game. It goes all the way, if you look at the scale, it goes all the way to P16. I don't think of any other game map that does that.
I think Oosterbeek is one of their best maps, and I do like it's. It seems like after all said and done, Chapter 1 maps are the ones that bring the more dynamic gameplay, in my opinion. A lot of the Chapter 2 or 3 maps seem to be more linear, where you seem to be forced to push from one direction or the other, you know. Where here, I feel like there's always different approaches.
I think it's the same size.
Objectives.
Grave, no, I don't think Grave is.
Having said this, I see that the first cap point for the Germans is exactly the same.
Yeah. Bushfield?
That's the one.
Yeah, so that's for the Germans. I can't see the Allies' capture point. Oh, we've got extra admins, that's why I've been pushed on the German team, so I can't see the Allies' point of view this time.
Oh, so we're both Germans?
Yeah.
That's silly. There's room in the Allies.
Ah, it's okay. I don't want to bug up the slots. So I'm going to assume the teams are swapped this time because on the Allies they're bringing out different tanks this time and different vehicles. You still have to tweak that Dutch of yours.
For oh, dude, this you like this. So
Brood.
the 4 people, the 2 pairs that were on the Stackhounds earlier are now on the 50 mil Pumas. That's what they're gonna be rocking this time, and they seem that they're gonna be rolling together once again.
I tried to learn Dutch. So the 2 Pumas, nice. You don't often see that. It's very rare you see that on the German decks.
No, you don't, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they're gonna perform.
I tried to learn Dutch, but honestly I got fed up with it. I got a bit bored of it. I used to be able to say like certain sentences. I completely forgot it. All I can remember is Brood, Sop, and Ik ben een man. Sop is like juice, Brood is bread, and I am a man. In a very bad accent. I love, like, this is the only game mode I see all the vehicles being used at the start. I think it's such a shame you don't see transport vehicles utilized in public servers. I love seeing it.
Yeah, I agree. I love seeing the display of power, you know, or like whenever everybody's leaving in a sort of convoy, it makes for a good image, you know? It lifts your spirits for the battle to come.
Yeah, I agree. And some of the transport vehicles are really good. The American 50 cal half track is devastating. That can chew through any vehicle aside from tanks. But even I don't know if it was a bug, but I even managed to kill the 222 recon car as a 50 cal half track.
You did tell me that, and I believe that could be an option. Honestly, a 50 cal. I believe in the actual war they did have armor penetrating rounds that could potentially damage smaller scout cars. So yeah. I could see that being usable, yeah. So as far as the Germans, Voschfeld and Landgoed are the first points to be capped, and sure enough, they are capping them without much problem.
I've just seen. I love when I see an MSP stop moving, and then all of a sudden, boom, an entire regiment just appears out of nowhere.
And that is what is happening with the British forces right now. And an MSP is heading in that direction. Turn around now to drop off some people. Holy crap. Look at this display of troopers right now by the British. Look at them pushing across this wheat field.
Yep, so it is the people who were playing Germans last time are now playing the British, and already the British have destroyed one of the German MSPs, just like that with that Staghound. So good start to them. What a wave of infantry pushing across the field.
You see that?
Yeah.
That was amazing, dude. And not only that, but it's a very much forward position to be in. That means they're gambling for the risk, you know?
Yep, they are starting to spread out now. I forgot what the 6GA spam in my chat all the time. Spordacity, I think, is the spam word. Always be sporadic, always be spread out.
Yeah, but look at the line they just created around Westerhide. The forces from the Pumas are going to have to fight through this infantry. Squad 3 is going to have to fight through this defensive infantry. And let's see what can happen because, you know, it could go well for the Pumas. It could go really bad.
I'm just watching the Staghound at the moment. The Staghound is actually unaware. He parked right next to a German rally, and immediately a Pioneer popped out, dropped the bomb on him, and the Pioneer is looking to come finish him off now.
The Pumas now getting into the fight. They have catched the side.
Shoot the bomb.
They have
Shoot
caught
it
the
before he drives
back
too far
of the
away.
pushing
Shoot it.
force, but the Pumas getting
Shoot
hit
it,
at the
10.
moment by AT infantry from the back.
Got it. The Staghound was destroyed by that one Pioneer, so good job to that Pioneer. He's a hero. He's going to get the Iron Cross, no doubt.
And there is one Puma getting taken out. Give another medal to one of the British, as he had taken out one of the German scout cars already.
That's actually a bigger loss to the Germans. The Puma is actually more valuable than Staghounds, I feel, purely because its gun is bigger. I think it's actually worth a little bit more tickets as well.
It should. And we see a few defenders for the Germans at the point right now. They're pretty well held up. We got an MG, a sniper, I believe another MG, and artillery on the point. No doubt British artillery. Oh! Quagmire.
Followed by the smoke as well. I'm on the wrong scene. I'm sorry, chat. I just realized I'm on the wrong scene. I'm on the wrong overlay. It's fine. We'll fix it in post.
This is going to be a push into this point. The Puma patrolling the road, but as soon as the Puma is out, the British forces jump out. Look at this. This is beautiful right here. They saw the Puma pass. They're using their artillery. They're using their smoke. They're going in from many directions, but they are also, the Germans are coming in. Adelanter, Quagmire. They're coming in to defend and reman their position.
Yep, so this is the middle cap then? So this will technically be the third cap for both teams. So the Germans have the majority at the moment.
So the Germans have 3, yes. I'm assuming, no, well, don't the British have 3 as well?
No, I think they only have 2.
Oh, okay.
So it's all for this cap. So it's more even than last game because I don't think the tick rate starts until they hold I think it's 70 or 80% of the majority. So even with 3 caps hold, it's still an even game. There won't be much ticket bleed going on.
And I feel like this is just a matter of time before Westerhide goes to the British. They're all around this point. Only Adelanter is left. Never mind, Adelanter is left no more in this point, and I believe the British are about to take over. Now, my question is, are the Germans counterattacking on Kleinweg now? No, they're not at the moment.
Not at the moment, though. I think they're more focused on defending at the moment. They're probably scared that the British were going to be pushing strong, and that's what they've done. Have the British completely moved into the cap? They have. Am I mistaken? Oh no, no, yeah, the British are going to be neutralizing the point here. The British have taken over the cap.
Absolutely, they've taken over Westerhide, and there is no response to be seen from the Germans. You see Squad 2 and Squad 3 really far on the west side. Squad 5, Squad 6, they're trying to get close to the point, but there's nobody actually on these points at the moment. It's all just British dominion.
More land for the British. We can never have too much. No, but yeah, the British coming out strong here. So just clarify again, the British team this time were the Germans who played last round, who were the winners. So looks like the winners are coming out strong again. But the German defenders are actually moving on to kill them. But I don't think they're going to cap it in time, or at least neutralize it in time before the British take Western.
Yeah, we do see German force actually responding really fast. The Puma over here as well. Will they be able... I mean, there is the German response right there, you know? I don't know if they'll have time to neutralize it. The British forces at Westerheide are getting enveloped at the moment. Can they hold enough?
I think they will. I think they're going to take the point, and they can then start leapfrogging onto the next cap, actually.
And I love that, you know, they're at Kleinweg, you can still see Westerheide from there, and they're both points that they're fighting over.
Yeah, I can see there's actually a big British push back on Kleem as well. It looks like they're trying to push out the German forces that are trying to take that, but they did take Western, so I believe the Germans have to take Western now before they can jump on Kleem. So any forces on Kleem at the moment are pretty much pointless.
I do see the surrounding German forces. All of them are heading to Western right now. I believe Squad 6 is going to stay in Kleinweg. They're just going to hope that their comrades are able to capture the back point again. And I hear a tank coming in. I see a Panzer II, I believe. It's about to start shooting on Westerheide, on the British.
Oh, there was a Stuka landing there, and the Stuka actually took out the British FOB. So the Germans found the FOB. It isn't completely destroyed, but they have knocked it offline. So that means reinforcements are going to be cut off for the British for a short while from that direction.
I think the British that are held up in Westerheide are all but doomed. They have a Puma on the left. They have a Panzer II on the right. They have infantry coming from every direction. As like I said, they are dwindling. Only one man standing. Boel 5.
Well,
a man unassociated with any clan.
That'll be a huge shift then. If the Germans can take this back, they're already entrenched on Kleem. So that means majority of the map control will shift back over to the German side, and it'll be all tied up again.
And it is just a matter of time. Look at all the Germans coming in from the north. A squad, Adelanter's squad coming in with Quagmire taking point. Oh, Quagmire went down. I still think it's a matter of time. Yeah, there it was. So that is the last British at Westerheide. They were not able to reinforce it yet. However, if you see around the German force that is coming to reinforce Westerheide or recap, there is yet another layer of British enveloping that German force. So this is like water ripples. You see like one circle of infantry, and then wider than that, there's another circle of infantry waiting to envelop, and then after that, there's another one waiting to envelop.
Yeah, I don't know what the British are going to do, though, because they actually haven't got a tank nearby, and the Germans, not only do they have a Puma, but they've also got a P2 now in the field, so huge distraction there for the British attacking forces. They're going to have to deal with those tanks first. And if they can take Western, they're going to immediately start capping Kleem, because there's no one on Kleem. The Germans already have a squad holding Kleem ready to cap it. Yeah. Or they did. They start to die now. And
it seems like the only reason, like, they don't have... Well, first of all, the British don't seem to have a lot of armored cars out in the first place at all. All I see is a Greyhound here at the moment. And it's committed at the moment at defending Kleinweg and trying to taking out the German forces, and it's done pretty well at that, actually.
Yeah, it's done a pretty good job. And look back on Western. I don't know what... I just see a massive grey name tags. What happened there?
Oh my god, I see nothing but red bars and dead people. What? No idea.
The funny thing is, it's on both sides as well. So I missed the artillery or bomb or whatever it was, but... Neutral point with teams rushing from both sides, from both clans.
Absolutely. We see two from each side to meet in the middle and fight it out. However, I think the Germans have the upper hand at the moment here, and here comes artillery! It doesn't matter whose artillery it is. It's gonna kill whoever finds. 3 shells.
Venom with the MG as well, managed to clear up the bomb. So I think, unless something happens again, the Germans should take Western. Even if it's just one person capping, they should be able to take it. Oh, here comes Brawl. Venom. Triple kill for Venom. He's doing a good job. Nick's going down.
German force coming in from the east right now to take finally their point back, the Western Height back.
Just witnessed some more Italian friendly fire. At this point, I'm not even surprised.
Smoke rounds this time.
So the Germans have taken the 3rd central cap and they are reinforcing it. They do have a couple people on clean, but it's not going to be enough to hold it. The British forces are pulling a lot of defenders in.
However, look at Squad 3 now. Going around Squad 5, the squad that just got into Western Height. I believe their point is to take out their rallies, take out any MSPs, take down the spawn points, and they might be able to take a little bit of momentum from the defenders here.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. Fern Max just ran straight by a rally. Clearly, he doesn't have a gamer headset, or he would have heard the rally going offside. He needs to get himself a gaming headset. Disappointing there.
And that is one of the things that they needed to do. This enveloping squad is supposed to take out the rallies, and by missing one there, it's a big boo-boo. However, now it seems like they are heading in the direction of an FOB. I don't know if they might have gotten some intel on it, and they're going to confirm, or it's just pure coincidence.
I think it's just pure coincidence at this point. It looks like they're just trying to flank around. They're looking for those rallies. They know the spawns over here. Very even match, though. 300 tickets apiece. There isn't that much in it. Germans holding one more cap, but it really doesn't matter at this point because they hold 2 to 3 caps, so it doesn't mean much ticket bleed is happening. So very even.
So it seems like we've reset right now, Yasu. The Germans have taken a hold back of Westerheid. Not many British are close. And the British have taken a hold of Kleinwick, while not very many Germans are close to that point. So it seems like it was just a reset. And now they're going to have to think about their attack plan again, their defense plan again, and try to execute one more time. With more than 300 tickets each team, they still have plenty of playing room.
That is true, that is true. I'm currently watching the horrible Greyhound. I hate the Greyhound. Smelly American tank. It's currently being engaged by a AT or something in the far, far distance.
Far distance.
Real long-range shots going on. I think it's an 88 emplacement. Yeah, yep, it is.
88 indeed. And it is very far shots, as you said. Oh, was the person in the 88 just taken out, or?
Yeah, a British, I don't know who that was, drove a Jeep at him, managed to kill him, but there was a medic nearby to save him to get the 88 back online, so... Brave attempt by one American soldier, but it wasn't enough. British soldier, sorry.
One American soldier in the British Army had to be the hero, as we all know. And they will make a movie about him.
Yeah, they'll make several movies about him. Embellish everything. Take credit away from everything else. He single-handedly won the war. Did you know that?
Yeah, Zubin British. He did. With his 1911.
I'm sure, and he'll be played by Clint Eastwood. Right. I can't actually see that squad though. Squad 3 carried on moving through the trees, like you said, and Squad 3, Squad 8 looking to do some kind of pincer movement on Western.
Yep, so now we see the attackers reset, a Squad 8 and 3 doing the pincer move you're talking about. I don't think they have the numbers to do this at the moment. They seem to have more defenders than attackers, and it's usually a rule of thumb that you want to have at least 1.5 times as many attackers as defenders.
That is true, that is true. I'm just on board Darky 989 from IR9 at the moment. He's doing the do you ever watch Shroud and how he does the jiggle peek to lean in from Q to E while he's like quickly watching corners?
Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, we've got a little bit of a Shroud emulator here. He's doing those jiggle peeks around a tree. He's moving very quickly, firing shots off.
He's got a radio man next to him. Let's see if the jiggling helps him. The Gewehr is a pretty good gun. I like it, actually, and some people don't. But I personally like both iterations, the Gewehr 41 and the 43. And he's been taken out. No Shroud ability saved him this time in Postscriptum. And funny enough that you're talking about Shroud, you know how I found out about Postscriptum is that I saw Shroud playing it.
Wait, Shroud played Postscriptum?
Shroud played Postscriptum a long time ago while it was like on one of the test weekends before the game was actually released. And that is how I personally found out about the game. I was like, wow, what is this World War II shooter that looks amazing? And then I got involved with it and I haven't left since. But that is how I found out. I don't think he's played it since, but wouldn't it be nice? I mean, he got to play squad. Wouldn't it be nice if we got him to play Postscriptum?
Come on, man. He's a big noob. I wouldn't want him in my tank squad. Come on, man. Could let me down. You know what they say about tank squads? The weakest, the tank squad is only as strong as its weakest link. And Shroud, I don't know about that.
So, right now in Klein Week, we see nothing but Germans at the moment. So does this mean that they're going to take this soon? Because I don't see any British responding. Oh, there's a British response. Oh! I don't know if you just saw 2 or 3 bodies jump out.
I saw more than 2 or 3. There's only 2 people left at the moment.
Oh my god. I was just talking about no British response. And there is the British response right there. They took out most of the Germans. Tiny Rick is the only survivor of the Germans. And that is one of the greatest artillery hits I've ever seen in this game.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, though. It doesn't matter. They've got no one there. One person can still cap that point. And look how far the British have been pushed back. It looks like they lost all their spawns, and they're having to spawn all the way back at a random MSP now.
Now, however great that artillery was, which was great, it didn't take every single German out of Klein Week, which means they are still capping it. There's not any British near. So this is going to go towards the Germans. And we do see a huge British force coming to Klein Week at the moment, but they're not here just yet, and I don't think they're going to be here in time to contest it.
No, they're definitely not, and that will mean the Germans will have 4 to 2 caps, so I think the ticket bleed will start to go quicker and quicker then for the British attackers.
Absolutely. So at this point, what we will be seeing is a tie between both teams, if this is how it was to end.
Yep, there are a couple of AT guys. I just saw the 88 mentioned earlier. It just got blown up by a suicidal AT guy. It looks like they're just doing some damage behind the main lines. But yeah, they're going to have to pull something out big because the German defenders have secured their positions quite well. Western and also Gleam both have like 2 squads on them. I don't see any tanks nearby for either team though. I think I'm slurring my words. I apologize, chat. I'm drinking.
There's nothing quite like saying a Kugelwagen full of Germans. Well, they actually speak German, and the little English that they speak is with a heavy German accent. Immersion.
I remember I had the opportunity to play in a clan match with IR9 as our allied team. And our commander who put up the battle plan was from the IR9 clan. And as we know, they're probably one of the best German clans.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember the commander saying, I can't do the accent, but imagine in the thick German accent, he said,
yeah.
If you do not remember the plan, simply attack, yeah? Nothing can go wrong if you attack. Just attack. And I will never forget that moment.
That's awesome. That is beautiful. So, right now, I was following the Kugelwagen. It seems to be making a huge flank on the north side towards Grisure, but I don't think it's aware of a tank that the British have pulled out. A heavy tank. I can't see what it is at the moment. It's the Firefly. Yes, baby.
Ah, come on. We want to see the big British landship. That's what we need on the field.
Firefly is a British.
Yeah, it's a hybrid. It's not a purebred British tank.
But I love it. I love the fact that the British were like, you know what? We want to put a 17-pounder on the tank, and we're going to do it. Yeah. And they did it.
We're going to take your British tank, and we're going to actually make it useful.
I like it. I love the Firefly. It's my favorite.
Yeah, it's a good tank. I mean, it helps that we improved it. Going back over to the cat now, peeps. So it looks like there's just a mass infantry battle for Kleem at this point. There's just bodies flying on either side.
Western Hyde has been absolutely abandoned, and it is all about Kleinwick right now, and everybody's fighting here. And what I'm looking at is SWAT 2 on the north side of Grisjord. A very small squad, but I believe, you know, their objective is going to be to get a rally, get more squad members there, and start disrupting there. Making the British have to go back and maybe commit more people to defend that point.
Yeah, the British actually have numbers on Kleem at the moment, so if the British keep up this pressure, they will be able to take the third cap back. And
I see a huge British push from the north, a huge German push from the south, and in the middle in Kleinwick where they're going to meet.
I just witnessed a knife fight in the barn. That was interesting, to say the least. What a strange exchange that was.
Anywhere you see in Kleinwick at the moment, there's infantry engagements left and right. Nowhere to be safe. Grenades being thrown. Flanks being enveloped. Everywhere.
I'm just watching the battle going in the barn. It's been so intense. We've had knife fights. We've had grenade fights. We've had everything going on in the barn at the moment.
Everything goes, and I hear some form of plane.
Just a Spitfire trimming the trees.
Right, we had a British Spitfire with a quick strafe front. I don't think it got anybody. And we keep going. They keep going. British coming from the north, Germans coming from the south. I'm liking this British strafe fronts on the south. They're hitting them right on the main street where the Germans want to cross from south to north. And he actually got one kill on Atalanta. Really nice. It's really hard to get kills with the strafe fronts.
It is, and they have a long cooldown as well. I was thinking I'd like to see reduce in the future if they maybe reduce the cooldown of the strafes, because they're fun to use, but they're not really effective. So it's always nice hearing that plane come in as well with the machine guns afterwards.
No, I agree. And the thing is, like, they take too long to get there, right? By the time they get to where you call them, the infantry that you wanted to target is already moved on.
Yep. I witnessed for the first time yesterday in 500 hours of playtime a Spitfire actually destroying an MSP. It was incredible.
Very nice.
I didn't even know it was possible.
In Grisjord at the moment, we still see the battle. The squad 2 that I was talking about has gotten closer, but they're dwindled in numbers at the moment. They have a tank right behind them. I don't know if they're going to be able to accomplish their mission there. Ooh. Mosquito right on the barn.
That was a big hit. 4 names going down then for that one mosquito. And then
we do see, however, the ticket difference. The gap is widening as we speak, going in favor of the now Germans. And if everything keeps going this way, we're going to see a tie for today's event.
That is true. That is true. It looks like the British are jumping back on. I mean, the numbers, it's just a back and forth at the moment. I feel like whatever team employs tanks at this point on the cap is going to take the advantage. And what I can see is a tank coming forward for the German defenders. So I think it's going to gradually fall to the Germans. Oh, and it's a big boy as well. It's the king of tanks. Here she comes.
So they brought the heavy guns out.
They brought the heavy guns out, and they're also being a nuisance behind enemy lines, the Germans. They push on the church. They've held up the Firefly. The Firefly has been distracted several times by the Squad 2 guys. And now they're going to be able to secure Gleam even better with this King Tiger. So German advantage fully in their control at the moment.
Absolutely. The British are going to have to come up with something to respond to this King Tiger. I don't think they're going to be able to flank it, as the south side is completely under German control. And good luck killing a King Tiger from the front.
Yeah, I fully expect artillery to come in any second for the British on the barn, maybe onto the Churchill, the King Tiger as well. Look at that King Tiger. Oh, there's some smoke. It's close.
Here the Stuka coming in. Really far off.
In the...
I wonder if they were going for a fob. That's all the way in the east.
I think they were, yeah, a far, far forward fob from the British.
Still active, so unsuccessful Stuka bombing. Yeah, Squad 2 seems to be getting nowhere close to Grisjord, being driven back by Squad 8 and 4, the defenders at the moment. So we'll just stay in the plan.
Just witnessed some good coordination and communication there from the Germans. The King Tiger was getting flanked by British infantry, but immediately German infantry called it out, came to support the King Tiger. The King Tiger goes away with barely a scratch on him.
Great coordination. I wish I could have that coordination with infantry when I'm in a tank.
It's if you get it on a public server, go buy a lottery ticket immediately. But it does mean the British, they have taken over control of Gleam at the moment, but they are going to be under immense pressure immediately from German infantry. So we'll have to see if they hold it and neutralize the cap.
And it's a back and forth. It's a back and forth. The British push them back. The Germans eventually gather and push them out. And the same for the British. Once they've been pushed out, they gather and they push again. And so it goes, the title battle. But at the moment, they have been able to neutralize Kleinvik.
Second Mustang on the Stug.
They'll give him a little respite of so much bleeding for the tickets.
Well, yeah, the British have neutralized Gleam, so it's good for them. They're going to get a bunch of tickets back. And they did neutralize that fob in the far, far, far east. So the fob behind enemy lines is down. But the British are going to gain... I can't remember. Is this the third or second cap? I've lost count at this point.
Not sure. But yeah, I think this is all but captured by the British. Germans are close. They're enveloping. Not close enough. And what I really want to see is the Firefly get over here and fight it out with the King Tiger. For some reason, it seems like the Firefly, which is a tank hunter as well with that cannon, seems to be occupying himself with infantry.
Yeah, I think every time he tries to move forward, he gets hit by an AT, so he has to move back immediately. He's been defending the church from Squad 2, really, all on his own at this point, so...
Yeah, having said that, there are no more defenders right now in Grisjord. If Squad 2 decided to move in, they'd be able to capture it.
Yep, I just seen a bomb being placed on the King Tiger, so we'll have to see if the King Tiger goes down. Thermax has also discovered the German MSP, so he should be able to take down the MSP and the King Tiger if he utilizes his system correctly. Oh no, and he just goes down. He got... German infantry immediately came over to support the King Tiger. Thermax, I don't think he spotted the MSP, so once the MSP went offline, Germans knew there was infantry nearby and they went to support the King Tiger.
Right. King Tiger now, with less than half of his hull integrity, should head back for repairs, and that will give the British a moment to breathe. As you know, it's a slow tank. It will take some time to pull back and repair, but better than losing it.
Yeah.
I hear a plane. Could it be a Mosquito on this Tiger? Could be risky. And it was indeed a Mosquito, but it was not on the Tiger. It was on the barn at Westerhide.
Complete waste of a Mustang then, unfortunately. But That being said, the Firefly has finally started to move forward. Squad 2 is chasing behind it. It looks like Squad 2 has made it their objective to kill the Firefly instead of taking the church. I mean, it makes sense now that they've lost Clean. They need to take Clean before they can even take the church. So
that's true. That's true. I kind of forgot that the British had taken this. So Squad 2 is basically wasting their time at Grisior. That's why we see no British defendant there. We see the Germans now pulling back to capture back Kleinwijk, that is under British command.
Firefly.
Kleinwijk has definitely been the place to be at this whole game.
Yeah, this has been definitely a lot closer than the first game. It's just been basically a battle over the neutral two caps in the middle, really. British do have... I'm not sure if the British have... No, it's actually the British are only on 2 caps at the moment, so the Germans still hold the majority. Germans have 3 caps, the British only actually have 2 caps at the moment, so... The British still need to keep pushing. They can't just settle here. Then they're going to have to push out, get extra caps, because they are keep losing. And it does look like they are pushing on Western, actually.
They are pushing on Western. I don't see as many defenders as it might be needed. The King Tigers heading south for repairs, but however, it's not too far from the main road. Once they hit that main road again, he'll be able to shoot at the British forces attacking Westerheide. So they got to move in fast while the King Tigers out for a little bit. The Firefly has gotten closer to Kleinwijk, still nowhere close to the King Tiger, so I don't think we're going to see that clash anytime soon.
No, and I want to see some big tanks shoot each other. That's what we've not seen yet in these games. I mean, it makes sense, but I'm here to see some big tanks hit heads.
No, I agree. I love seeing some tank gameplay, and as we say that, we see some artillery coming in, and what I'm assuming is German artillery trying to attack the pushing British forces. Very quick response, you know, to know, hey, there's a force attacking from here, throw 3 shells there real quick, you know?
I mean, we are talking about 2 of the best clans, IR9, best infantry clan. They know when to use their assets. And because they're split across both teams, I mean, it's very even. But it does look like the British are slowly starting to push on Western. They don't have the numbers yet. It's still very even, but they have started to move in.
Right. I like that. So the strategy they're using here, they have a Firefly. It's not pulling back, I think, for repairs. But anyways, they had a Firefly posted up the main road, being able to shoot at any forces from the Germans that are pushing from the south. So they've been able to secure Kleinwijk pretty well, which allowed them to push onto Westerheide. And that's where we have to keep an eye at. That's where the tide of the battle might change or stay the same. British forces pushing from the east, and German forces pushing from the west.
Yep, it's very even. Ticket difference isn't that much at the moment. Yes, the Germans are ahead by 100, but honestly, in a game like this, that's not really that much. And the British are slowly starting to claim more and more land, but it isn't easy for them. Every time they make progress, I feel they're pushed back a little bit. It's 2 steps forward, 1 step back every time.
Absolutely. Around Westerheide, most of the British forces have been unsuccessful in pushing this point, and the Germans are now digging in again. Got an MG, got a sapper, good automatic guns. Not so good news for the British. Also, more bad news. The King Tiger is back and up and running again.
Yeah, and that's going to be a huge asset for the German defenders. The King Tiger is the strongest tank in the game currently. Terrible thing to take down. I think you need 2 AT guys to spend everything they have to take it down. Otherwise, you need commander assets and other strong tanks for ammo racket. It really is a beast in the game at the moment.
I agree. It definitely requires a level of coordination to take down. And right now, as I've said, it's posted itself up on the main road on the south side of Westerheide. And it's going to be able to keep a good eye on potential attackers crossing the road. Definitely going to put a big hinder on the British push, who are still defending Kleinwijk just fine. They're not having problems with that, but they do have to get a hold of Westerheide if they want to have a chance at winning this game at all.
Yeah, they do, and while they're trying to push Westerheide, they are slowly getting pushed out of Kleem as well. Every time I look over, their defenders get thinner and thinner on Kleem, so... they could see themselves losing Kleem at this rate while they're trying to put pressure on Western.
You know, something that the Firefly is having to pull back all the way to Maine. No repair stations from the logistics on the British side to make that repair a little shorter, and that actually matters a lot. The time that a tank is out of the field, that's a huge advantage. That's a huge tempo and momentum for each team that holds a tank. You know, and that means
Exactly.
that's why the British now in Kleinwick, I believe, are getting pushed back a little bit. They don't have that tank supporting them at all.
No, I agree completely. I think tanks would have played a big change in this match if we saw them use a bit more. We saw the light tanks use a lot, but it seems both teams are very reluctant on using the heavy tanks. And I've got to say, the heavy tanks are slower. They're not as great in this game mode due to their mobility, but what they are good for at the moment in the current game balance is holding down a position. If you could put a King Tiger on a point, and it's so hard to dislodge that King Tiger or a regular Tiger for that matter. So heavy tanks can still play a crucial crucial part even in game modes like this.
I think, especially in this one, they've been able to utilize the heavy tank because the fighting has basically been reduced to this grid of kilo 8 to kilo 9 within these two grids in Kleinwick and Westerheide. That's what the whole fighting has been. So that allows you, as you said, to keep your tank steady, and then the enemy team is going to have a hard time dislodging that. They're going to have a hard time flanking this, and it's very, very not likely that they will take the King Tiger from the front.
That is true. That is true. The AT guy, Furmax, tried to sneak up on the King Tiger, but he was spotted by an MG. He managed to kill one of the Tiger crewmen, but he's now been pinned before he could place any bombs onto the King Tiger, and the King Tiger knows to get out of there immediately, just in case.
And there's so much infantry here on the south side. Like, one person to sneak around this Tiger, it'd be crazy, Like, there's no way that it could be done unseen. And we now see another reset in the sense that Westerheide is fully under German command. No British near, except for the east side a little bit at the moment. Not too close, but it seems like they've all pulled back to Kleinwick, and they're defending what they have at the moment.
Yep, this is true. This is true. Looks like the British, for the time being, have they're not completely given up on Western, but they've definitely been pushed back. They need time to regroup, and while they're regrouping, Gleam is being surrounded by blue names on all sides, and with the King Tiger now firing down heavy HE on it, I've got to wonder how long can Gleam hold out.
And you can see how important the presence of the tank is here. It's not even about, it obviously is about the kills, but the fact that a tank is shooting at this point, suppressing, throwing HE, it doesn't allow for infantry to take certain rights, to take certain cover, to move freely around that point. And I think what this King Tiger is doing is brilliant. When Westerheide needs to be defended, they post themselves right there and just shoot at the attackers. And right now, they've seen that they can move up a little bit, and they're harassing the British at their defending point. And I think they're utilizing this tank in a beautiful way at the moment.
Yep, I agree. I was sorry I went silent then. Von der Vlauch just ran into the barn, got an amazing triple kill. He almost cleared out the barn single-handedly. He just went down on the last British defender. Roswig managed to keep the British presence alive in the barn, but he's already under pressure from an MG spraying shots down the barn. Ros is the only one alive now in the barn.
The shelling that the British are taking right now on the north side, they're taking King Tiger rounds. They just took a few HE artillery shells.
Dark, thank you for follow.
It seems like they have been able to dwindle down. They have been able to thin out the defense line in Kleinwick. We do see Squad 5 coming in from the west to reinforce, but they're not dug in at the moment. And that's advantage for the Germans.
Yep, that is true, that is true. The presence on Gleam is still kept by the British, but you can see there's only 2 red names, really. Well, 3 red names now alive near Gleam, and they're still under pressure from the Germans. So, and I don't see any pressure on Western, so I think the Germans, eventually, if this keeps up, they're going to take Gleam, and then the British are going to be down to 1 cap. I need to drink more water. The whiskey's kicking in a little bit.
Yeah, at the moment it's looking like this is going in the German favor. I don't see many British holding. I have to say once again that this tiger shouldn't, like, how can the British hold this position when there's a king tiger shooting that they cannot hope to take down? Where is the Firefly? We need the Firefly to respond to this.
Exactly.
Oh my God, look at the long flank it's doing. The game is gonna be over before he gets here.
No, I agree. And Vonda came back for round 2, got another double kill. He's managed to clear out the barn, so I think he got 7 kills on his own in clean. There's only a few British defenders. They're not even in the buildings. They're on the outskirts. So the German pressure is on now for the British. And I've got to say, it's all in the German favor at this hand.
Absolutely. Von der Moss came in with the MP40 and cleaned the barn. You know, I don't know if you were still around by then, but there was a time where they gave the German medics MP40s. It was a crazy time.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there was like, for like 2 weeks there, they put a patch in where, you know, people were saying, well, why do the Americans get an M1 carbine that has so much fire rate? And, you know, they were like, okay, fine, we'll give the Germans something to fight against and to fight them with. And they gave the Germans MP40s. It was a crazy time.
This is my call out to Snazzy. Snazzy, hire me to be the guy who literally shouts at people to get good. I don't care about people's feelings. I will shout at anyone to tell them to get good.
So the change that came after that, they said, okay, well, we're not going to buff the German forces per se, but we're going to nerf the American forces. So instead of giving the medics an M1 carbine, they gave him a regular M1 Garand. And the Thompson was nerfed to the ground, bro. And then the Thompson's not really usable at the moment. It used to be a great gun. It used to be comparable to an MP40 or so. Right now, it's not really usable.
I have noticed the Thompson is the hardest of the SMGs to use. Definitely at longer range. Close range is amazing, but like 100 meters and plus, it's definitely a lot difficult to hold the recoil.
It used to be on pair with an MP40, somewhere between an MP40 and a Sten gun. It used to be way better, but you know, people complain that Americans have a lot of firepower, which that was, you know, that was kind of a real life thing, and it's something that you have to adjust around. And they nerfed it, and now it's not really usable, in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought that was the whole deal with the Americans. They brought superior firepower to the war. Speaking of superior firepower, the Germans have taken Gleam, and they're moving on to the church already.
Yeah, you're right. Not only are they moving on to the church, but they are in the church. And the British are the ones that are attacking the church to try to recap it, but we'll see if the Germans that are staying there can say, no, you will not move us.
We'll have to see. There's only 24 tickets left for the British, so I think that's going to be a German victory at any rate, even if they do manage to take this back.
No, I agree. At this point, it's going to be a tie then?
I think it will be, yeah. I think it will be a complete tie.
I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with... And then, does it make you wonder, does one team have an attacking advantage?
I wouldn't say so. I think the first round, the teams were getting adjusted, and it was pure chaos at the beginning, and it was whoever came out on top.
It just seems like it's the British faction getting pushed back, you know? It seems like we are in a deja vu where the British are trying to get back in the church, and the Germans are here. So, you know, I just... not that I have anything to base that on, but it's like, well... It's 2 in a row that the people in the German faction have won. I wonder if there's anything geographical that brings a factor into that.
That's true. I think it's just purely down to the skill of the players and what's been happening in the match. It's been very back and forth. We've seen the British take the caps, hold the caps. We've seen the Germans take the caps, hold the caps. And I think it's just the Germans have utilized their tanks more. I think that's been one of the deciding factors. That King Tiger has been undisturbed the whole game. When was the last time you saw a British tank this game that wasn't behind enemy lines? Wasn't in the battle, should I say?
No, I absolutely agree. And speaking of tanks, maybe we'll get a quick... I don't know if there'll be enough time, but I see the Firefly finally getting close enough to maybe sniff the King Tiger, though there's a forest in between them. And I don't think we're going to have time for this clash. I think the game's going to be over before that. I believe the ticket difference might be a little bigger than last game. Yeah, so 170... well, it'd be 160 something tickets, 167 tickets. But very good game, either way. I think the level of coordination that we see in this type of game mode, with this type of clans, and maybe we are gonna get one shot. I think that we are gonna get one shot before the game is over. Here
Finally.
it is, Yasu.
This is what
Yes.
we're here for. This
Yes!
is what they needed to
And
do.
my boy wins. The Firefly conquers. Yes, Mr. Pro beats the Yasu. Here we go.
Wait. I don't know about that.
I thought we had champions in this matchup. I'm sorry.
And I would be for the British, clearly.
Okay, fair.
But no.
Anyways, so the Firefly, oh my god, was able to take down the King Tiger with 2 shots, and this is why I love the Firefly. The canyon, the aesthetics, the shooting, the sound. Even though they've been, what if they had done this earlier, Yasu? What if the Firefly had come down earlier and done that earlier? It could have changed the tide of the battle.
Exactly. If it did that 10 minutes earlier, the whole game could have been shifted. I mean, I feel that's where the British could have pulled out the advantage. They could have got more tanks on the field. They could have pressed with them more. But for the entire game, that King Tiger went undisturbed for really the last later half
I
of the game.
absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. And I gotta say, I love that ending. It was like the cherry on the cake. It was the icing on the cake just to see that at the very end, Yazoo.